Well, wouldn't you know it? As soon as I wanted to go outside and work on some wood with the knife, the construction guys out back are working on the house.
Hey campers, George here, back in the man cave. The horror. We had a couple of days of really beautiful weather. Went on a hike. Beautiful day. Really turned into a great hike and good fun with good company. The next day, not so much. We got about 4 to 6 inches of snow, just like that. And it hung around, and then we had sleet to follow. It was nasty out there, and even through all that, I got me something. I ordered a knife that I saw on Amazon. I'd heard a couple of things and seen a couple of adverts about these, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to shake up the savings box and spend some money and have a look at it. It's not overpriced or anything like that. It is a budget knife. They do call it a bushcraft knife. So let's have a look at it. Come along. So here it is here, and it came from Amazon, and you can see that the package is a little beat up. I wish they would just package this stuff a little bit better than those little bubble wrap envelopes. But this is the BPS HK1S full Tang bushcraft knife. That's how they described it. In looking right off the bat right now, just having a quick look at it, the sheath looks very nice. One problem is the length of the sheath, and look how much of the handle sticks out. That's not going to be easy to get to. There's the knife there, and we'll have a closer look at that, but I want to look at the sheath. Here's the sheath, and it is a dangler, and also allows you to put it directly onto your belt. The sheath looks very nice. The leather is nice and thick. It looks well made. The stitching looks good. It looks pretty solid, not going anywhere. So there's a good start. Here is the knife. And like I said, it's the HK1S from BPS Knives. And they're out of Ukraine. You can see the knife here. Not a bad knife. Kind of an unusual shape to the blade. First impression, it looks nice. This blade is really shiny. And if you look closely, you can see it's covered there. They oiled it. So it came oiled, which is a good thing. Sharp, no. Feels kind of sharp. Can't complain. Quick slice. It cuts paper. Good start. Overall, things are looking up. A wood handle. It is a full Tang, you can see there. And it does have a lanyard hole. And the way they did the lanyard hole, I like this idea of cutting it out. That's pretty cool. It's not a big knife. It is about the right size for a bushcraft knife. First impressions, it has gimping. It feels like a really nice 90-degree spine on it, so you can't complain about that. I'm not sure about this deep thing in the front here, the way it's shaped. It looks like a Scandi grind. Got a point on it, as sharp as I'd like it to. The blade, it's not really thick, and it's not really a heavy blade. It's a little thinner. Not a bad looking knife. Let's have a closer look at it. Trudge out into the snow and give it a little bit of a workout and see how it works. Made in the Ukraine. Let me go through the specs quickly. They're saying 8.6 inches, 220 millimeters for you foreigners. The blade length, 4.3 inches. And if you look on the blade, it just does say BPS Knives. It is carbon steel blade. Handle length, 4.3 inches, which is about right for a bushcraft knife. Unfortunately, it feels a little light. I'm used to a heavier knife. Maybe that's just me. You can see here the lanyard hole. I like the way they did that, on the actual handle, the skin of the handle. It is wood, and they cut it out, which is kind of nice. The weight, 4.4 ounces. Yeah. Like I said, it feels a little light. They say with the sheath, it's 7.4 ounces, which is nice to know. To me, The weight of a knife is kind of important. I like a little bit heavier, but as far as, you know, the overall weight with the sheath and everything on my belt, I've never had a problem. High carbon steel, like I said, it does have a very nice 90-degree angle on the spine. I kind of like that, and it has the gimping there for your thumb. So far, I'm liking it. The only problem, like I said, it is a little light, but I don't think that's going to be a major problem. How thick the blade is concerns me, but we'll see how that does. It is definitely a Scandi grind. For carbon steel, this is really shiny. Pretty impressive. Like I said, it has oil on it. It came with oil. You see how shiny that blade is? Pretty cool. Overall, I'm liking this. And for the price, you can't beat that. And here's the price right here. It's a budget knife. And it's made in the Ukraine. It's nice to have an option. To be honest, I'm a little tired of looking at a knife and thinking, oh, I like that. And of course, it's from China. Even American companies or any other companies that you're dealing with seem to go to China. BPS Knives is actually a family-owned business, small business. They make their own knives. They do it all there. Do I still buy them? Yeah, I still buy them from China. Why? I'm on a budget. Bushcraft knife, HK1S from BPS Knives. Carbon steel, $10.99. And the hardness, I believe, is 59 to 60 HRC. I'm no steel expert. $10.99 for me is close enough for government work. Carbon steel blade, you want to maintain it. If you use it, you go out in the bush, you go camping, you go on a walkabout, or whatever you're using it for, it's always a good idea just to wipe it off, make sure it's clean again, and oil it. I prefer it to stainless steel, just a personal preference. Let's go play in the snow outside and see what we can come up with. Maybe do some work with it and see how we do.
Well, wouldn't you know it? As soon as I wanted to go outside and work on some wood with the knife, the construction guys out back are working on the house. So it's going to be a little noisy, but we'll work around it. We'll figure it out.
Let's get some stuff here. I don't want to take my whole pack out there. We'll take a hammer and gonna need some gloves. It's a little chilly out there, so I'll have to get a jacket, and of course gonna need my fire kit. Let's do this. Now I got some padding. So I got my trusty bucko here. I'm just going to find a piece of wood, maybe cut it up, and let's do some testing. We got us a piece of wood to play with. So you're just going to have to ignore the banging in the background, unfortunately. Getting a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. And as you can see, we got the wood here. Got us a stick. I got my trusty homemade hammer. And we have the knife. And I will say I do like the sheath. I put it on my belt and tried it out, sat down, stood up, did whatever I wanted with it, and it dangled perfectly. No problems there. Workmanship is good and everything looks good. So I want to do a couple of things with the knife just to give it a good test. Keep in mind this is a budget knife for bushcraft, and hopefully it'll do the job. So what I want to do is maybe clean up the wood a little bit, cut off some stuff, get rid of the bark, and then we're going to do a couple of notches, that sort of thing. Maybe a little bit of bludgeoning. I'm a little nervous about the bludgeoning. The blade is not as thick as I'd like it, but we got to give it a try. Otherwise, we'll never know if it'll work when we're out there with it. Some bushcrafty stuff. I want to see if it'll
slice through that like that, no problem there. Nice clean slice. It is sharp, so it came from the factory pretty sharp. It still has the oil on it. I didn't clean that off. I'm going to leave that on. It seems to just slice through this pretty easily, and nice and sharp. I think I like that. I was wondering about the shape on the blade, that bulge towards the front. Right now, that seems to be where I'd use the knife the most, so I can see maybe that's why they did it. That's where I'm slicing, is on that bulge. What we want to do is we want to get rid of the bark here. So I'm just going to do that. Remember, safety first. Always cut away from yourself. And of course, gloves. It seems to just slice through this, no issue. There's no problem there. I didn't expect anything there. So it gets rid of the bark pretty good. And a good tip is when you're using the knife, you want to slice down with it. It makes for a cleaner cut, just like when you do your feathers. And you can see it. We've got a little bit of a curl there. Seems to deal with that knot pretty well. You can see there. I want to make a notch, just a plain V notch in it. So to do that, we're going to hold this down, give it a whack. It certainly cuts into this wood pretty easily. And this is not very soft wood. It is also frozen, which is makes it a little harder. And there you can see we got the notch, no problem there. See that? Giving it a good healthy tap with my wood mallet. Don't see any problems there. Is the blade okay? Blade still looks good. Don't see any marks or anything on it, so that's holding up nicely. Let's see how deep we can go here. I'll make the notch look decent. So there you can see. So it will notch, and that's what we're looking for. It cuts pretty well. I think this might be a good featherer. See that? Oh, it does feather nice. Not bad. Maybe we'll try a different stick to do the feathering. But let's see if we can actually chop our way through this piece. I mean, it's a fairly sturdy piece, a little bit bigger than the actual blade. So let's see what we can do here. Oop, cracked. The wood cracked there, so, but that's because I had it was bent. But you can see there it chops through. It's a clean cut. No problems with the blade. Looks good. Will the point work? The point is okay. It's not the best point I've seen, but it'll work okay. So the wood's wet and it hasn't really, point looks good. That'll work, I suppose. I don't want to press too hard. Yeah, it's breaking. Well, we got something out of it, but it will feather. Let's see if we can find a piece of wood that we can split. Okay, I found a piece of wood I'm going to split here. Hopefully this will work. It's not ideal. It's
Do I want to split anything bigger than this? Sure I do. I think I could probably go another inch, half an inch, and have enough to bludgeon. Put them on here. Oh. Well. Cut into there. Let's go a little deeper. Yeah, need a different hammer. Let's try this bigger piece. Everything's slippery. Yeah, found a problem here. It's what I thought was going to happen, and that is the wood is wet, obviously, and that's not helping. But the width of the blade is not as big as I'd like it. A little bit more width would have probably had less issue. It's not really splitting the wood. And how much pressure do I want to put sideways on it? I'm not sure. So, I mean, it got through it. And it's pretty hard wood. You can see the nice red solid wood on it. Let's see what we can do. It's got to be able to get through this. Oh yeah. Just need a little bit more. So it split it. Wasn't a nice easy split, but it had more to do with the wood than anything else. And my hammer. And of course my skill level. So, what's left? Well, we've made notches. We cleaned up the wood. We chopped it in. We chopped the wood. And we bludgeoned on it. How's it holding up? I'm not seeing any problems with the blade at all. Nothing seems to have affected the blade. I don't see any marking on it. So a good blade, good steel so far. Don't see a problem. Let's see if it'll strike a ferro rod. I have my fire kit. So I have my trusty little fire kit here. The ferro rod in it. Love these little bags. They work great. To strike a ferro rod, you need a nice 90 degree on it, and this certainly feels very nice. Very nice. In fact, it's almost sharp on the back. So on with the gloves. We have our trusty ferro rod. Let's see what happens. No problem at all. I didn't see a problem happening there. Look at those sparks. Holding it and pulling. For those of you that have a problem, if you're trying to light something and you do that, it knocks it away. To get around that, rest your hand and pull back on your ferro rod. You still get a spark. And you're not going to move your tinder. So after striking the ferro rod, you can see the marks on it here, and it cleans off nice and clean, no marks. Good steel, I think. So overall, for me, that's the type of test and what I would expect to use this knife for. Anything more than that, heavy work. It is a bushcraft knife. It's a little smaller. This is a little lighter. I do have a Bushlaw, which I really like my Bushlaw. It's the right weight for me, size and everything. This is not bad, and I got it. The handle is nice. I like the way it feels. But for me, it just doesn't have the weight that I'm looking for. I like a little bit of weight to my knives, and I would like to see a bit thicker on the blade. Makes me a little nervous. I don't know how much strength it'll have sideways. Point is okay.
The 90 degree is excellent. Sharpness, very good. Very good. In fact, I'm pretty sure. Let's see if we can shave with it. Which may be easier said than done. Oh, huh. No problem. We got hair. So, still razor sharp. Can't complain. Don't see any marks on the blade after that use. How long it'll last and be like that, who knows? Only time will tell. Overall, I'm impressed. For a budget knife and the price, like I said, that's not a bad price. For a starter bush knife, I think this would work for a lot of people. Can't complain. It's a good one, I have to say that. So there you have it, campers. BPS HK1S full tang bushcraft knife. Let me know what you think. Comments below. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back again. Maybe with another knife. Maybe not. A walkabout, camp, cooking. Who knows? I certainly don't. I never know what I'm going to do. Just saying. Thanks for watching. Bye.